Howdy folks, Jason here of All Things Photo, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the F-Stop Gear Tilopa 50L DuraDiamond. It's their new pack. They sent it to me, so I want to be honest with you up front. They sent me this pack. Although when I talked to them, I made it clear that I want to be able to send the pack back to them so that my review can be unbiased, because there are things that I like, things that I don't like, and I want to be able to tell you about them without feeling any kind of pressure. So the first thing I want to talk about is the nylon ripstop fabric. Now, I did own the Ajna bag in the past, and the fabric was good on it, but I think that they've definitely upgraded with what they're calling the DuraDiamond, this ripstop, kind of diamond shaped. I kind of think that's probably why it's called the DuraDiamond. Anyway, so it's very good. It's very water resistant, water repellent. I wouldn't say the bag is waterproof necessarily. I wouldn't dump it in the river or anything like that, but if it's a passing shower, I wouldn't have any problem just leaving the pack like it is. All of the external zippers, at least the ones that aren't covered, are the weather sealed zippers, and they have these nice big pull tabs, really easy to do what you got to do. And so we'll start real quick with the outside. There are all kinds of attachments if you're one of the adventure guys or gals and you want ice picks or pickaxes or whatever it is, or poles or whatever it is you want to attach. There's plenty of places to attach it. They call these gatekeeper straps. They've got them on the back and the sides, and you can attach pretty much anything you want to. It'll hold tripods just fine. Back here, I've had my tripod on it, and it's a big, really right stuff, really tall one, and it holds it just fine. Now you can put, camping sleep rolls, your tent, whatever else you want to put. You can attach all kinds of things to this, but keep in mind, the more you attach, the more you have to carry, which now I'm going to talk a little bit about the carry system here. You turn it around, try not to knock my iPad off. So from the F-Stop Ajna bag that I had in the past, one of the older ones, they've definitely upgraded the shoulder straps and the waist strap. These are a lot thicker, a lot more padding than the other ones had, and it's a lot more comfortable to carry for long distances. All of the buckles are metal, which is kind of a nice added feature. I enjoy it. I enjoy the way they look. I know it's going to sound weird, but I enjoy the way they sound when they hit things. Yeah, it's stupid. Anyway, you do have the ability to put a hydration system. We're going to talk about that. That's going to be one of my cons, the way that they've done this. I thought for sure that they would have changed it from the Ajna bag, but they didn't. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the fact that you can have a hydration system and that there is a way to pass through the bag and onto the shoulder strap, that is very handy, and it lets you stay hydrated, which is extraordinarily important anytime you're doing anything outside. So one thing that I didn't like in the beginning was this waist strap. So I'll come around here, you can look, you just feed it through, and then you pull it and it latches, and then you can actually unlatch it with one hand if you want, or two. It took me some getting used to. I didn't like it in the beginning, but I kind of like it now. Now, one of the negatives I want to talk about this, I am not a small guy. I don't weigh 150 pounds, so there's a little bit of girth to my middle section. There's enough room for me to put this on and tighten it up. Although you have to understand, I've recently lost 40 pounds and this is pretty close to the limit. So if you're a little girthy, you may have some trouble with the waist strap. I'm hoping that they put something out that you can extend this at some point or something like that. Because if you start adding layers, if you start adding coats and everything else, it's going to start getting more and more difficult to get that latched. So I didn't care for that too much. I would think that they would make it a little bit longer. So now up here you can adjust for weight. You can adjust the distribution of the weight in the pack so that it sets the way you need it to set on your body, which is pretty handy. All right, on the outside you have pockets, and you've got pockets that have pockets. And there's all kinds of organization to this bag. There's all kinds of things that you can do to fit whatever kind of style of photography that you do. See, you got more and more and more. And like I said, you can attach that tripod to anywhere. All right, so now we're going to get into the inside of the bag a little bit. And I'm going to open up the top. And this is where the internal camera unit goes. It's where you slide it down. But once you get it inside, I have I think it's the Pro Large in here. And I've got a few of these. I bought these with my own money, different ways of organizing my filters, everything that you can think of. Now I want to talk a little bit about this hydration system and what I don't like about the bag. One of the things I don't like is the hydration system goes in here, back behind the camera unit, where your camera goes. Now let me say that again. It goes behind where the camera goes. So you're putting a large water bladder behind expensive camera gear. Now, in F-Stop's defense, in all of my years of carrying camera equipment and using the hydration system, I have never once had a hydration system break. So this could just be me being a little paranoid or me nitpicking a little bit. But it's got a spot, and there is a little flap in here that the bladder slides down in, and I think that that's water resistant as well. So if you did have a failure, it's not just going to rush out and go all into your camera stuff. But I think having it in the same pouch is kind of or the same main compartment, it's kind of strange, especially because there's no drain hole at the bottom. There is a drain hole. However, that drain hole is for this pocket. Now this pocket, you would think, okay, well, just use that for your hydration system, but you can't because there's no pass-through to be able to get it to the front so that you can have your hydration. So I think they could have solved the problem completely by leaving the drain hole, allowing this to be where your water bladder goes, and putting a pass-through that goes through here, goes through the main compartment, and then out the front, or the back, depending on how you're looking at this. Anyway, so that's one of my negatives that I don't like about it. So that's, but I didn't like that about the Ajna bag either, and I carried it for a long time. All right, so now we're gonna open it up and we're gonna take a look on the inside. Let me put this back in here. You can see it all fits in there really nice. It's almost like these were designed for the F-Stop bag. Oh, they were. Anyway, that zip back up, and now we're gonna open it up here. I'm gonna open it up this way, I think, so you can see how I've got it packed. Now, this is my Nikon Z9. That's right, I've got a Nikon Z9, and that is a 70-200-8 that's attached with the hood. And this is the way that I like to carry it because this is probably my most used lens, so I leave it attached. Just makes the most sense for me. And they've got these nice little convenient straps that you can put across to keep your gear safe and secure wherever you put it. So here I've got it set for other lenses, for my 16-35 strap, lights, more lights. You've got your clicker, remote, and then here you've got all kinds of different places that you can organize. In the F-Stop Ajna bag, the one I had like a MOLLE attachment system on the inside flap, which means if you attached anything, you probably couldn't close the bag. It never made any sense. They fixed that. They've added all these little pouches that are good for organization. And some folks don't like the magnetic part of this for your flashcards or your CF Express or whatever you're going to be using here. I love it, actually. It keeps it nice and secure and closed. And for those people who think that the magnets are going to erase all your data, this is not 1990. There is also a dedicated laptop bag right here, laptop pouch, and it will fit the 16-inch MacBook Pro, which is the computer that I use. So it fits in there perfectly well, and I really like the fact that they do that. And this, of course, is the large Pro internal camera unit. And they make an extra large, which will fit in this bag, but keep in mind, if you use the extra large, you're going to have limited space at the top. You can also fit the medium or even the small in here if you want to take less with you and more stuff if you're doing camping or long hikes or whatever it is you happen to be doing. You can even take this out completely and just use it as a backpack. What I do like about it is the dimensions are slightly larger than your normal carry-on that's allowed. Although I've talked to several people about that, and they've taken this on airplanes multiple times. They've never encountered any issue. I think that's because you can shrink it down a little bit with the straps, and don't load it to bear if you're taking it as a carry-on. But if you happen to get in and they say, sir or ma'am, you're going to have to check that bag, you don't have to panic like I would panic, because you can just zip it up, unzip the top, pull out the camera unit, and it has its own zipper. And so you can zip it up and you can keep that, and they can check the bag, and you can keep all the really expensive stuff in your overhead or with you on the airplane without having to go in with the check luggage, because that is pretty much everyone's worst nightmare. We'll go over the pros and cons real fast. It's rugged. I feel like I could lay this in the water. It's not a big deal. I could lay this in mud. I could get it dirty, and if it's really dirty, it would look really cool in YouTube videos, but that's neither here nor there. I like the flexibility of the system. You can do all the different internal camera units. You can attach pretty much anything you want to. There's plenty of pouches and places to hide and lose things. I like the back access, and if you play your cards right, you can spin it around and open it and get your gear, swap gear out, do whatever you need, and not have to set the bag down. So I do like that back access. I like the fact that if you do need to get into it and you got to take it off, you lay it down, you're laying it on the back where they have all of this extra stuff in this DuraDiamond material to soak up, well, I wouldn't say soak up the water. I still wouldn't put it in the river. But, on a side note, it does come with a rain cover. So if you happen to find yourself in a complete torrential downpour and you're just not comfortable relying on the ripstop fabric here, you can then encompass it, which is what I would do if it was a torrential downpour that's going to rain for hours. It makes sense. And it does look cool. We don't talk about looks very often, but come on, let's be honest. It looks cool. Isn't that half the reason to buy this bag? Yeah, I think it is. All right, now there are some things I don't like. So the price is $499 as this set. $500. That is with the camera unit that's on the inside. Doesn't include the camera gear, obviously. But anyway, the bag, the camera unit is $500. And doesn't include those pouches I bought either. So $500. That seems excessive. But if you look at the other camera bag systems that are out there, it's pretty close. The size, because it is just a little bit over the edge on the carry-on, I would worry a little bit about that. But like I said, I've talked to people. They've had no issues flying with it as it is. And in the worst case, you can take that ICU out. The last thing is, actually two more things. We talked about the water bladder. I don't like the location. I wouldn't mind the location if they did have drain holes, but why they can't just move it back one little pouch area and then have the pass through both those. I'm not sure why they didn't do that, but it is what it is. I still, like I said, in all these years, I've carried this same pouch for years, never had it fail, and it does go inside its own flap on the inside, so that should prevent massive amounts of water from getting into your camera. The last thing was the buckle. I kind of fiddled with it a little bit ago. I don't mind the buckle itself, but the strap is a little small. I would say maybe another 2-3 inches on either side, and it would be great. Like I said, it fits me just fine. When I start layering up, I don't know that how well it will fit. There is some wiggle room there, but I guess I could use this as a way to make sure I keep those 40 pounds off. All right, so in summary, I love this bag. It's really cool. I'm not a big fan of the red, although the red is cool. I'm sorry, it's called Magma. That's right. I like the earth tones, the green, the black. Not a big fan of black camera bags anymore. They were everywhere at one point. But the green is cool, so I'll probably be sending this one back and buying the green one. But just understand that I'll be spending my own money for this bag, because there are a few things I don't like, but by and large, I think it's a cool bag. It does everything that I need it to do. It carries everything I need it to carry, and I've got room for extra. So if you like the video, make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions with the bag, ask them below. If you liked this video, let me know. If you didn't like the video, let me know that too. I'll learn from it and maybe delete you off the channel. So that's all I got. Until next time, get off the couch, grab your camera, escape, explore, and create.